Hi everyone, today we've got Ryobi's latest 18-volt oscillating multi-tool. We're going to run through all the specs and features that you need to know, and then we're going to run it through our test track, just so you can see how it performs and decide if it's the right one for you. Let's get started. So we have the PBLMT51. This is going to be replacing the PBLMT50. It weighs in at 1.9 pounds as a bare tool, and also 2.9 pounds with one of their high performance batteries. Now, this is actually identical to the previous weight of the previous model. It actually comes in at the same length too, so not too much different as far as the profile goes. So like the previous model, blade changes are tool-free. This does use standard accessories, but there's a slight difference from the previous model. Instead of having to slide over a pin and then pull it out, this one actually has just a standard pin, just like that, pull it out. And again, like I said before, this does use standard oscillating multi-tool accessories instead of something like Star Lock, which might be a little bit more specialized. But it's pretty straightforward. It does come with a flush cut. It comes with these sanding pads. You get 60, 80, and 120 grit, as well as this plunge cut blade right there. But as you can see, pretty straightforward, easy blade changes. Looking here at the front, one of the biggest changes we did see is that they shortened up the nose here a little bit, so this area is a little more compact. You might be able to get in places that are a little less space. Also, we've got our LED light there on the front, and it is in 0 right now, so this is actually a kind of a budget flashlight if you need to on the job. You know, not really, but just kind of a joke. Also, while we're up here at the front, I want to talk about the swing arc, and or the oscillating arc. That's just how much the blade moves back and forth. And this one moves back and forth at 3.8 degrees. That's up 0.2 degrees from the previous model. Why is that important? Well, it just means it's going to have a little bit faster and more aggressive cut. Looking at the tool body itself, up here we have Ryobi's HP brushless motor. That's going to make it a little bit more efficient, get a little bit more battery life out of it. Looking to the top of the housing, we've got our variable speed dial. You notice it's on 0. That just makes for safer transport. That way it doesn't kick on whenever you're moving around. We've got all the way up to 6 speed settings. So we got the 6 plus the 0. And again, that's going to go from 10,000 oscillations per minute all the way up to 20,000 oscillations per minute. That's great for cutting wood, metal, for getting grout out, for sanding purposes. It's a really great all-around tool. Moving down to the trigger, now this is something they actually brought back from their first brushed model, their 18-volt brushed model. So it's got a trigger and a lock-on switch. Now, this is something that I tend to prefer over something like a slide switch. Some people like a slide switch because they say like, oh, when we're moving around, it's not going to kick on. Well, I prefer the control of a trigger. To me, it feels safer, and this is really nice because you can pull on and instantly stop. To me, that just screams control. But the nice thing here is if you're doing a longer job, you can pull the trigger, lock it on, and you've basically got the benefits of a slide switch. When you're ready to stop, you're all done. As with Ryobi's other 18-volt tools, this oscillating multi-tool is fully compatible with their entire line of 18-volt batteries. Now today we've got the 2 amp hour compact high performance battery. You could use a 4 amp hour. It's just a little bit bigger. I mean, you could go up to one of their big batteries, but realistically with the 2 amp hour you get a really good balance, really good feel, and your hand won't be weighted down by that battery too much. So today we're going to run through a few tests. We've got our oscillating multi-tool testing rig set up. Over here we've got some sanding applications, grout removal, flush cutting with metal. We've got a plunge cut set up, and we've also got a undercut set up for doing like doorways and such. But we're going to run through these, show you how it performs. Let's get started. So as you can see, it offers a pretty smooth cut whenever you're working under there. Now granted, I've got this on setting number 6, that's the highest setting, and that really allows you to work smoothly. And also, the vibration really is very easy to manage. With your hand back here on the handle, you really don't feel too much. Whenever I've got my hand up here in the housing, there's obviously going to be a bit of vibration from the motor, but overall very smooth. All right, let's move on to the plunge cut. Now this is one of Ryobi's included accessories, and I just want to show something real quick. Pop that out. That this thing isn't mounted on perfectly straight. I've actually got it at an angle, and what that does, that allows me to use the tool to my advantage, so that I can angle the tool the way I need it to be, instead of me having to work around the tool. All right, let's move on to a flush cut with some metal nails here. So like we mentioned before, this tool is really set up to cut multiple materials, just depending on which accessory you've got. So today I've got a metal cutting blade. It's actually a metal and wood cutting blade. But we're just going to pop these framing nails. These are just standard framing nails. We're going to go ahead and cut these down with a flush cut, just so you can see how it performs. Now this isn't your typical application for this kind of tool, but occasionally you may run into a nail, maybe whenever you're doing an undercut or you're cutting behind a wall or maybe cutting through some other material. So it's just nice to know that you're able to handle metal as well. All right, let's move on. Now one area that this tool does really excel is in the area of grout removal. If you're doing a bunch of tile work, maybe you're doing a project in your kitchen, replacing a backsplash. I know I'm about to rip out a bathroom shower. It's going to be a heck of a project, but this tool might come in handy for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove some of this grout from between these tiles, just to show you how it can perform. As you can see, it's very effective in getting that grout out between those tiles. Do be careful though, because you can accidentally damage tiles if you're not being careful. They do make smaller accessories. This is a little bit bigger, but they do make smaller ones for working between these tight tiles. All right, we're going to move on to a sanding application. So the last thing we want to show is a sanding application. Now it does come with these sanding pads. These are one of the standard accessories it comes with. It comes with 60, 80, and 120. Now for large sanding applications, this may not be the best option. However, if you're trying to get into a tight corner, maybe you're trying to be really, really precise, this could be a great option for you. And we've got some markings on this piece of wood, really specialized stuff. Pick up a pencil at your local Home Depot. But we're going to go ahead and sand it off just to show you guys how it works. And this is actually a great application for the lock-on feature if you don't want to hold that trigger the entire time. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, it was able to remove our marks pretty easily without any issues. It leaves a very nice smooth finish. This is actually their 80 grit pad, so it did pretty good. All right, well, you saw it in action. You can pick this thing up for $119 at your local Home Depot. It all comes with a 3-year warranty and the accessories we mentioned. You get the sanding pad with the the 60, the 80, and the 120. You get the plunge cut blade, and you also get the other flush cut blade. Now, big question is, who's this for? Well, honestly guys, it really is suited for the weekend warrior, the serious DIYer, and even the value-minded pro. Keep in mind that 10,000 to 20,000 oscillations per minute rate, that's right in line with what we're seeing from professional models. So what do you guys think? Is this the one for you? Or do you have a tool you'd like to see us review? Leave it in the comments below, hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below, and as always, thanks for watching.